Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
me, Rob, and we got some good old NFL to talk about today.
Yes, we have all kinds of news to talk about, including the news today that everybody was kung fu fighting. Those cats were fast as lightning.
Oh, they were.
But yeah, guys, we got a lot to go over here with you guys today. So, of course, this is our Thursday episode. What does that mean? That means we get to announce that I kicked Rob's butt again in picks. And then, of course, we have to go over
one pick.
Win is a win.
It's not kicking butt. That's your squeaking by, and I'm going to win in the fourth quarter, and you're going to cry about it.
A win is a win is a win is a win. And we still got to go over more with the Giants news, guys. Just when you thought the whole Daniel Jones getting benched thing was over, nope, here's more. So,
but wait, there's more. It's like Shazam.
Don't act now.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to go over the battle of the rookie running backs here, because that's one of the kind of underlying things in this game that nobody's really talking about, because of the fact that people can't stop talking about Tommy DeVito and his
Give me that chicken cuts.
Dead duck.
Listen, I had a little bit of a chicken parm tonight in his honor.
Yeah, if you do it the other way, it's like a snake then.
Yeah.
I won't call Tommy DeVito a snake charmer. That might bring other people thinking other things.
He might get a crap from Asbury. I said it.
All right, guys, let's get right into the news here for the Giants. So you got to start off, of course, with Daniel Jones today addressing the media for the first time since being benched. He just, came right into it, had a written statement. No word yet on who wrote the statement. I will say, in the past, the Giants have obviously crafted statements for him to say. Given the circumstances of what's going on, I'm not sure if that happened again, because there's definitely a break, so to speak, in the relationship, obviously. And, you can't blame the Giants making the decision, but you also can't blame DJ for being a little upset in what's going on either. He said, I wrote down something just to make sure I say it the right way. The opportunity to play for the New York Giants was truly a dream come true, and I'm extremely grateful to the Mara and Tisch families for the chance to play here. The Giants are truly a first-class organization, and I have nothing but genuine respect and appreciation for the people who have built it and who helped carry on that tradition. I've met so many special people and created relationships that will last a lifetime. Thank you to all my teammates, coaches, and staff that have done so much for me these past 6 years. There have been some great times, but of course, we all wish there could have been more of those. I take full responsibility for my part in not bringing more wins. No one wanted to win more games worse than me. And I gave everything I had on the field and in my preparation. Of course, this season has been disappointing for all, and of course, I wish I could have done more. I'm 100% accountable for my part. I did not play well enough, consistently enough to help the team get the results. The reality of the NFL is it's hard to win games, and it requires consistent performance from everyone involved. We didn't do that well enough. So the idea to change something happens, and I understand. I love the game. I love being part of the team. I'm excited for the next opportunity. I know that there's a lot of good football in front of me, and I'm excited about that. To all the fans, I have deep respect and appreciation for your passion and love for the Giants. The fans are a huge part of what makes playing for the Giants so special. Thank you. Very, very well done.
Yes.
Whoever wrote that for him, kudos.
I mean, he did go to Duke, so.
What does that mean? They play basketball there. They don't write things.
I'm just saying. Yeah.
But no, seriously, that was a well-written out statement,
Yeah.
I think. And you could tell how sad he was just reading that, honestly, guys. Like, again, I know there's a lot of people that hate DJ, but the man tried, and the man did everything the classy way, and you can't help but feel for him to a certain degree. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I was him, every time I get depressed, I just open my phone to my Bank of America app and just start smiling again. But, like, I'm just saying, yeah. It's it's like I said, I get where he's coming from. And I don't think that he's done anything wrong in this process from a personal standpoint. And I really think it's kind of a shame the way things have gone. I wish things could have gone better because you can't help but root for the kid. He's not a good quarterback, but that doesn't change the fact that by all accounts he's a good person.
I mean, he's a fantastic person. We've all dealt with someone that's a great person, but they may be a ditz at their job.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I get that ditz. It takes a while to, evolve to be a better average or above average, possibly a good worker. And I mean, we're kind of seeing that play out. Like, not to say that he's a ditz, but say like his opportunities with the Giants, like he's had them. Has the Giants always given him the best opportunities to be the best quarterback to his ability? No.
Nope.
There's an argument we can say with all that. We've done that over the past 6 years. I'm not saying that he's going to be a forever backup in this league. He could be the next Geno Smith, if you will. He could go to another team that needs a quarterback that's a great offensive line, and maybe something clicks.
He'll be a backup. That's easy to be. I mean, honestly. You don't go from as bad as he's been to,
we all, let's say, maybe he could be the next Geno Smith. We all watched Geno Smith on the Jets.
Yeah, but I still think Geno Smith is a product of the Seahawks as much as himself. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to take all of it away from him, but I do think a lot of that's the system, And
once again, I could see him going somewhere else and being an okay starter.
Yeah. Now, here's the interesting part of this whole thing with him. When he spoke to the media, he did take questions afterwards. Again, kudos to this guy, because if I was me, I'd just say this, my statement, and get the hell out of there. I wouldn't want to take questions.
Yeah.
He talked about the injury guarantee in his contract and basically said, hey, yeah, that was part of the decision. Like he said it, even though the Giants either don't have the guts to do it or can't legally say it. I don't know. I'm not sure which one it is on the Giants side there, to be honest. He said that was a piece of the conversation for sure. I wanted to play. I wanted to play badly and do what I could to play. I think it was part of it. Most of those discussions took place with my agents and Joe. So, yeah. And he was even asked, like, would he have considered waiving the injury guarantee to stay on the field now? And he said, I wanted to play. I want to play. I want to be on the field. I tried to do as much as I could to make that possible and create a situation where we were both comfortable. Most of those discussions went on with my agent and with Joe. I want to play. I want to be in the field, but it's the unfortunate business side of the game too. Yeah.
So, you could read between the lines. It could be, him just saying he doesn't want to admit that he didn't want to take it out, or maybe he would reduce it when the Giants say we don't want it at all.
It sounds like he was willing to make concessions, but he wasn't willing to get rid of the whole thing.
Exactly. I'm saying, instead of 23, let's cut that in half.
Yeah, that's what I took from that, is he's willing to make the concessions. But I mean, again, I can't blame the Giants for not wanting to play him, because again, honestly, does he give us the best chance to win? And I'm not trying to be cruel about it. There's enough people being cruel at Daniel Jones. I don't need to be one of them. But he doesn't give us the best chance to win. And that's what this should be about. The guy who does give us the best chance to win is now playing quarterback for the New York Giants on Sunday.
Yeah. And once again, even if he gives you the same opportunity to win financially, it makes the best sense.
Correct. Plus, he's going to be part of the team next year, potentially, whereas DJ's not. So,
correct. Well, once again, you look at it, injury, $23 million guaranteed, or you sign this guy in, to a backup position, and what did we pay Locke this past year? $5 million with upwards of something else. Like, it's a big difference in a number.
Yeah, and part of it is that you got to figure out now what happens next for him. Does he stay with the team? Does he leave the team entirely? Is he allowed to leave the team, or is that going to cost him money? Like, that's obviously a conversation of, him and his agents with Joe Shane and the Giants as well, because they both have to kind of agree to something on this here. But the whole thing is just absolutely crazy, like absolutely insane. Again, I feel bad for him, and I know like there's a lot of people that have a lot of hatred towards him, and a lot of that hate is because of the money. As if any of us would not take that money if we were given the chance. Like if I went up to you, Rob, and said, listen, I'm going to make you the CEO of the largest food manufacturing business in this country, and we're going to pay you $40 million a year to do that. You would take the freaking money and run. Of course you would.
100%.
You're not qualified for the position. You have no
Hey. How do you know? You don't know my background.
No clue what you're doing. And guess what, guys? Daniel Jones is not qualified to be the starting quarterback. He is not capable of doing the job, but somebody gave him $40 million a year to do it. And any of us would take that in a freaking heartbeat. I will not blame the man for cashing checks that he was offered. Any of us would do the same damn thing. And the fact that people hate him for that is absolutely goddamn ridiculous. What is he supposed to say? Oh, I don't want $40 million a year. Give me 30. We'll be fine.
Yeah. You know what? Actually, I think 25 sounds better. It's probably in the right price range. People won't be so mad.
Yeah, like don't try to act like people do like this with you have some kind of people have some kind of ethics that none of us have. Because I know I wouldn't do it. Rob, I know damn well you wouldn't do it. Like we would all take the goddamn money and run, just like Daniel Jones did and should have. Because you know what? That man has now set up his family for generations. Not just him, generations. In 40, 50 years, when nobody knows who the hell Daniel Jones is anymore. Because that's what's going to happen, guys. And the Giants are celebrating their 150th anniversary. And he's not even mentioned because nobody wants to remember those years. Guess what? His grandkids school for free at the time to Duke, probably.
Yeah, and they're probably wearing Eagles outfits in the stands when they're talking about the next quarterback who gets inducted to the Hall of Fame as they're giving the birds.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can't hate the man. I feel bad for him. I really do at this point there. And, hopefully things get better for him because he doesn't deserve the hate he's getting in any way, shape, or form. So, all right, guys, let's talk about Daniel Jones and what happened today at practice. And Deb already kind of alluded to it. She said, I read they had him playing safety on practice squad today. Is that true? Are they trying to humiliate him more? So, yeah, guys, Daniel Jones was literally playing safety today with the scout team defense. That's how far he's gotten. And it makes us ask the question, are the Giants being cruel to Jones? Like flat out, are they just being complete jerks and a-holes to him at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you read into it. I didn't read that much. Like, I kind of saw a headline on it. Like, I didn't have the opportunity to read about it. I was about 6 hours driving to work today, so that was cool. But I saw the headlines, and like you have to sit there and think about that. Like, how can you take a guy that sat behind an offensive line for majority of his career and put him out there in the wild, in the safety, in the forest, in the middle of nowhere?
The crazy part, it's the scout team defense. So it's not like there's no live hitting, there's no nothing like that. It's not like that. It's basically like you're a body, go out there and pretend to be a safety.
Yeah.
That's it.
You're pretty much like, remember that show Daria?
No. I know of it. I've never watched it.
I watched like 2 episodes, but it's been off abuse. But it's that girl that didn't do anything. Like volleyball's come by her, she goes, and misses it. That's pretty much what he's doing out there.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing is crazy. And I'm telling you guys right now, we had the conversation earlier this week about what to do with Joe Shane. We've talked about Joe Shane potentially losing the locker room. Guys, I'll tell you this, he's losing me.
Yeah.
He's absolutely losing me because this is a dick move. And this is something that Joe Shane, when this move happened, if you didn't plan on letting him even practice, which is clear what they're doing, and I get why. I 100% got it. They're not wrong for not letting this guy practice. Let me be very sure on that. Then you send him home. You send him home and say, listen, we appreciate everything you've done.
Here's your guaranteed money.
Here's your guaranteed money. We're not going to take the risk with this injury clause. Go on home. Prepare for next season. We honestly do hope the best for you and things turn around, because I do think that the people in the Giants organization don't hate on him either because he's that guy. But to do this to this guy who is, again, not a great quarterback by any stretch of the imagination, not even a good quarterback, But the guy has been an absolute class act, a great guy, never once complained with all the BS he dealt with. All the BS. How many coordinators? How many offensive linemen? How many, years did he not have any receivers, basically? How many years did he deal with all this BS? Then a guy
How
gets
many years that
bombarded.
we destructed him?
Yeah, gets bombarded by fans every single where he goes. Giants fans, not even opposing teams, Giants fans yelling at this man as he goes to leave the stadium week 1 and everything. Absolutely goddamn ridiculous.
Which brings up my point from yesterday when I talked about Drew Lock not getting the start.
Yeah. That's and you know what? As you said that, I was about to put this comment up from Beav here saying, don't expect any good free agents to come here because after this, there's nobody going to want to come here. And I don't blame them. And I've been a fan for 56 years. This is pitiful what's going on. And apparently the owner is allowing it. That's sad. Yeah. Honestly, guys, the way this team is handling this is what I expected the Jets, the Browns, those kind of teams.
Yeah.
This is classless, point blank. And I'm telling you right now, listen, I'm not going to go ahead and throw up my Giants fandom and stop being a fan of the team. But to be honest, guys, you notice I'm not wearing any Giants gear right now. I point blank, I have right next to me my usual necklace I wear to the show and stuff like that. I'm just honestly pissed at the team and didn't feel like wearing it. I'll say it point blank just like that. Because this is not a good move. First off, from a morality standpoint, this is a bad move because you're embarrassing this man at this point, and that's not fair to him.
Listen, he could 100% become a Raider next year and do way better than what he's done with the Giants.
Yeah, and then you throw in the fact that, like you mentioned and Beep mentioned in his comment there, this is a situation now where if you don't think the rest of the NFL is watching and saying, you know what, I'm not going anywhere near this team right now. This team has no goddamn clue what they're doing, and they're embarrassing a man who has worked his tail off for 6 years for them. This is an organization that has no loyalty whatsoever. This is an organization that does not care about its players whatsoever. Why the hell would I go there? And then don't even start into the turf issues and everything, too, on top of that.
Yeah. It's not even like he just put his head down and went to work. Like, this organization, did not do right by him at multiple occasions. He never once, never at a single time has ever said anything disrespectful or heinous or just even on the bad side of good. Not even look at his farewell speech.
Yeah.
He praised the organization and what they're doing.
Yep.
Put him out of safety on a Scott's team.
Seriously. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's like, oh, wow. Ooh, we got a giant flash room. Here's some salt.
I really think that this is a nail in the coffin for me, and I don't want to fully say it yet, but it's getting to that. That's like the coffin needs one more nail, and that's it for me to close it on Joe Shane, because I'm just done. That is classless. You trash talked and badmouthed your free agent running back on freaking TV on the offseason. And now you put your quarterback for the last 6 years through just a ring of embarrassments now. When you could have set it up correctly, because guys, we talked about this in the show. Paul Dottino on his show, when he and I were talking, his show said point blank, this is going to happen on the bye week. He said that point blank. And he didn't give any sources or anything. But when guys in the media say that means they know something. They don't go out and say things point blank what's going to happen unless they know something. They may not have been allowed to say what they know, but they know something. He knew it. If he knew it, that means this was already discussed inside the building, and this was the plan. And if this was the plan, you should already had it prearranged with his people saying, listen, at the end of the bye week, we may be benching DJ. And if that's the case, we want to do this in a humane way to him, out of respect for everything this man has put through for this Giants organization for the last 6 years. How can we make this happen? What do you guys want on your side? That would have been the right way of doing it. And you know what? They made a classy move last year where they traded Leonard Williams, and they talked to him beforehand. asked him where he wanted to go, made sure he was okay with everything before it happened.
Yeah.
That was the classy move. They're just throwing poop on Daniel Jones' face right now. It's goddamn ridiculous.
100%. Like,
Oh.
yes. Who would you rather have on your team, Leonard Williams or Daniel Jones? Like, I think we all know the answer. But at the same time, like, you have to treat all these players, especially the guys that have been the face of your franchise.
Yeah.
Like, you need to treat them all the same, no matter like how bad or good they've played on the field. Like you said, this is a classless move. Like, this is like, obviously, like I made a point yesterday about how I thought it was classless that Drew Lock didn't even get an attempt. Like, he came out. I didn't even say classless. I just said, like, it's a bad look. That you tell this guy, hey, something happens to DJ, you know, like, he doesn't play, you play, here's your opportunity to restart your career.
Yep.
Gets that opportunity comes around, and oh, by the way, you're still on the bench. We're taking the third string behind you. We're putting him in. Like, granted, I agree. Vito's probably the best guy to, you know, for the Giants to win games. But all you had to do is start him for a half and let, like, if you think he's going to fall on his face, like, let him fall on his face. Like, we're not winning anything. We know what we got. Like, just let 30 minutes of football go by.
Yep.
And do the right thing. Like, oh, well, you know what? We're just going to pull him because we think DeVito gives us a better second shot in this half. And then go from there. And then no one says anything.
Yeah, this whole thing's been handled so horrendous, it's not even funny. And I got to clarify something because Derek Jones there, what's up, and says he needs to ask to be released so that there's an injury to a QB, he might be signed. Unfortunately, Derek, that's not even an option for him because of the way this contract works. They can't cut him till the end of the year. So unless Daniel Jones and his people agree to restructure and redo this deal, that's what's going to happen. And if you're the Giants, you're not going to do that kind of move to that degree to help him out no matter what. And if you're Daniel Jones, you're not going to help this team out whatsoever and give them money back when you know this may be your only payday, your only legit payday you ever get. You'd have to give up millions of dollars to get that to happen. I'm not doing that if I'm him. He's not doing that, I guarantee it. So, you know, like I said, it's absolutely ridiculous, guys. It really is. And this is so classless, it's not even funny. And, you know, we talked about this in the program of the day. I'm going to start calling for it, I think, at this point. Fire Shane, fire Dable, and let's bring in Mike Vrabel. Let's bring in Bill Belichick, not as a coach, but as a guy helping out in the front office. And let's get this franchise back to what we were. And stop being a goddamn clown show in the NFL. Because this is just pathetic.
I'm not going to disagree, but I'm not quite at that point yet.
Well, my whole thing is we talked about this. You're not going to keep Dable and get rid of Shane. I don't think that's not a good possibility. No. But if this is the way this organization wants to keep on acting, and we've had how many issues with this? We've had Wink Martindale and the whole issue there because instead of just having the balls to tell him, we don't want you around anymore, they went ahead and just fired his friend and then waited for him to throw a hissy fit because they knew it was going to happen. They manipulated that situation. You should have just been a man, sat him down and said, you know what? This ain't working. How can we mutually part ways? Then you got Mike Kafka. He gets to call the plays. He doesn't get to call the plays. He gets to call the plays. He doesn't get to call the plays. Then you let him shop around other jobs. Then you don't let him take the job when he gets offered a job. There's a lot of classless things going on. And it's getting to the point where, you know what? I'm going to say it this way, guys. You didn't have these things happening even with Dave Gettleman. As bad as Dave Gettleman was. And there was a lot of classless things he did with the Giants checkbook. Don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting he should be the GM of the Giants again. But he didn't even have these kind of scenarios. Now, he may have said some stupid things, and he may have looked like way out of touch with reality as far as the digital age and that kind of stuff. But he did not have these things happen. You know, If that's bad when I can put anything in the pro column in Dave Gettleman's side when I'm talking about a current GM. That's bad. Too many issues. Way too many issues. And I'm done. I'm done. As your dad said, it's like watching the Giants before Parcells. People forget how bad that Giants team was all throughout the 70s, you know? I'm just saying it is absolutely done, you know. All right. Let's try to get to a little happier news, guys. We go on a huge rant there about being ticked off. I'm honestly more fired up than I expected to be about that. And you know I didn't like Daniel Jones as a quarterback. I've been saying it for a couple of years now, but they're doing him wrong. Let's talk about something we can be happy about. Okay, and that's Tyrone Tracy. We got the battle coming up this weekend, guys. The battle for the best rookie running back in the NFL, with Tyrone Tracy going against Bucky Irving of the Bucks. And obviously, guys, we know they're not going to be in the field at the same time here. But these two are clearly the best rookie running backs in this league by far.
Big time.
Not even a close second. Not even a close second. And
Nope.
you know what? Bucky Irving was on a lot of people's radar because of what he did in Oregon. Let's be very frank, guys. Tyrone Tracy Jr. came out of nowhere, basically. And I'm not saying nowhere at all. Like, obviously, he played Purdue. People that were big-time college people knew who he was and stuff like that. The average person looking at players in the draft, when Tyrone Tracy Jr. got drafted, had no goddamn clue who he was.
No, he flew under a lot of top 20 radars.
And he didn't make our list at all. We did, 15 or 20 running backs? He didn't
15, I think.
He did not make our list. Bucky Irving did. The guy we'll talk about in a second, who's number 3 in the list, made our list. Tyrone Tracy Jr. did not. So maybe that's a shame on us, as much as we pat ourselves in the back for being right about the quarterbacks the last couple.
Yeah, but there's also there's always at least one or two players that come out of this draft, like mid class, that no one expects to be a stud. It comes out and plays great. So kudos for the Giants.
I'm just saying, we got to take our pros with our cons. If we make a mistake, we got to admit it, as much as we try to pat ourselves in the back for the pros there. Here's the stats on the year so far. Bucky Irving, 96 rushes, 492 yards. Doesn't have a single 100-yard rushing game, though. He's been consistent 40, 50 yards a game kind of rushing, back. He is splitting carries with White, of course, there in Tampa. 5.1 yard per carry average. 26 first downs, 4 touchdowns, 28 catches, 188 yards, 7 first downs there, and no receiving touchdowns. Tyrone Tracy Jr., 107 rushes, 545 yards. So he's got a little more rushes, a little more yards. He's got 3 100-yard games. He's got a 5.1 yard per carry average, the same exact average. 25 first downs, so just about the same. 3 touchdowns, one difference. That's all splits the 2. The only really big difference in their numbers really is the receiving side. He's got 18 catches, so 10 less catches, but he's got 117 yards on that compared to the 188 with 10 more for Irving there. Only 4 first downs and no touchdowns in receiving. The big difference for me and why I'm going to take Tyrone Tracy in this, and not because of the fact that I'm a Giants fan. We try to stay, a little unbiased as best we can. Is Tyrone Tracy Jr. had 29 rushing yards, guys, through 4 weeks.
Yeah.
29. So that means in the last 6 weeks, he's got 516. That's a really, really high average, guys. That's like one of the top averages, in the entire NFL. I gotta look it up even to see now. I've been thinking about looking it up beforehand. I'm curious who has the highest rushing yards per average in the NFL at that point. I gotta look here because it's a career. I don't want career 2024. Stupid stat news. That website is very good though. every so often. But, again, I think in the long term, he's going to be so much better. It's not even funny. So it's just, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am biased. It's still early, but I just look at what he's done in 6 weeks, and the fact that it still beats out what Irving's done in all 10 weeks. That's pretty damn impressive. So let's see here. We got 545 divided by 29. So I'm messing up my math here. So 516 divided by 6. That's 86 yards per game. That would put him 4th in the league right now. 4th in the league as a 4th round draft pick. Only behind Saquon, Derrick Henry, and Joe Mixon. That is not too shabby, guys. I'll take that. I don't think any of us even thought that was a possibility we drafted this guy. And if you did, sorry, you're probably BSing. Let's be honest. It was like, oh my God, we just got this kid. He's going to get 100 yards a game like crazy. Like, that's not normal in any way, shape, or form. Most people aren't thinking that. But like I said, I think it's close right now. I think it's close. The big difference is, the pros for Irving is the fact that he's more involved with the pass game. And the pros for Tyrone Tracy is the fact that he had that slow start and still got caught up and overpassed Irving there.
Say he's had a little less than a sample size, but when you look at his with the catches, you look at 6.7 yards per catch for Irvin, and you look at it at 6.5 for Tracy Jr. So like, really talking a quarter of a yard,
give
or take. So like, I'm okay with that, especially when you're talking 6 something.
Yeah, so, and you don't pay them to catch the ball. They're both running backs, and they're both legit running backs.
But it also shows you too, like they got hands, and typically when you throw to your running back, it's at either behind or at the line of scrimmage. So these guys are still getting 6 yards.
Yeah. But what's crazy to me is if Tracy continues on the path he's been on the last 6 weeks, he's gonna end up over 1,300 yards, guys. That's pretty goddamn impressive. Not
just for a rookie, just for the general.
Yeah, I mean, he'll probably be over 1,500 total yards even. Like, that's a year that would be a career year for a lot of guys. It's impressive. Now, what's crazy is even the fact that no other rookie back has over 280 yards. These guys are at 500 basically and change.
Yeah, straight up.
Only one other rookie, who's Ray Davis, by the way, the kid from Kentucky. We talked about him pre-draft. He's in Buffalo, has over 240 yards. So he's at 239, by the way. He's that close to 240, but no, like, I mean, I was at 279. He's close to 280. So you have 270 and then 492 and 545. Like, literally the number 3, 4, and 5 rushing leaders of rookies or quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams. I forget the third one. I think it's Bo Nix, I assume. But yeah, that's pretty crazy how big the difference is. So yeah, I'm going Tracy. Rob, who you got? Who you think's the better of the two?
Oh, definitely Tracy, because you're talking about someone that's played all year compared to someone that's literally played 60% of the games thus far. So if he keeps on pace with what he's done when he's been the starter since Singletary got hurt, like, it's obvious, especially when you got Baker Mayfield under center for Urban. So you have to respect the deep throw. You have to be able to respect, some slant plays, some other, like, more plays than behind the line of scrimmage compared to playing DJ. Like, we just talked about DJ and we had a bench on a 4th string. There's a reason.
He's a 4th-string safety now.
Yeah, 4th-string safety. Your 4th-string safety is not throwing balls down the field.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about an ex-Giant there giving a warning to his team. And this is a beloved ex-Giant that people still talk spectacularly about there. And that's Sterling Shepard. Shep warns the Bucks about DeVito. I never thought I'd read that headline. Um, so here's the quote that Shep gave to the media today. He said, I love Tommy, man. He's definitely a very energetic guy. He's very confident. That's the reason I've been telling these guys. It's not somebody that we can take lightly. He's going to go out there with confidence and play his type of style ball. So, yeah, other than that, he's a great dude. And that was a time to be around for sure. So it's interesting that Shep's saying point blank, hey, don't sleep in this dude. And I feel like he's giving like the Brett Favre warning, like, don't sleep on this guy. He's gonna throw it and not give a damn. Like he's just
yeah, that's a good comparison.
Like he's gonna struck the ball and hope for the best.
Yeah, don't sleep on it. Malik Neighbors, you got him started. Actually, to follow up in the comment over here, when you're talking about a new quarterback coming into the system, quarterback or quarterback, who do they go to? Typically, their slot receivers and their tight ends. Yep. So Theo Johnson
both playing at tight end this week.
If you're looking at like a DraftKings FanDuel, yes. If you're talking about in like regular fantasy football, depends on who else you have.
I'm gonna say this to everybody, fantasy wise, with the Giants. The Giants, if you have guys available that are big time Giants players, and obviously everybody's gonna have neighbors in their leagues, but if you got
neighbors hands down, still top 10 receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if you have a guy available like Darius Slayton or Theo Johnson, pick them up to stash them for a week or two and see what happens here with this change in DeVito, because this could go either way. I can see this offense start flying, and I didn't say flying to like the Bucks are flying, but at least being a 20-23 point week kind of team, no longer being the 14 points a week.
I was going to say, you're going to average probably another 10 points per game. So you can't do that just all on Tracy's back.
Yeah, and that's going to be – you're going to see some guys get some yards because of that, and you just got to see who it's going to be because we don't know. But, like I said, I'm glad to see Shep still talking nicely about the Giants. He was a guy, obviously, the Giants did show respect, unlike Daniel Jones. I'm still harping on it. I can't help it.
Yeah.
But, again, I still think he's going to be back in the organization eventually. I still think eventually Sterling Shepard is going to be either on the coaching staff or having some kind of role with the team, kind of like a Jesse Armstead has with the team. Like we said, if you saw him all over Hard Knocks, they never mentioned him. They never pointed out who he was, which that's kind of hurt me a little. They didn't do that. But I think that personally, Shep is going to be a guy that comes back and has some kind of role with the organization. But he doesn't have to publicly say this stuff now while he's in Tampa. He doesn't. He went out of his way to give that. It's gonna be nice to see that, I think. So I'm excited for Shep to come back and get his kudos from the fans. Like I said yesterday, it's gonna be kind of the un-Saquon entrance. Like he's gonna get a standing applause and ovation that he deserves for all that he put through, with all the injuries, and him keep coming back and him keep on fighting back at that point. Like this is a good guy that deserves a lot of respect from the fans, 100%. So, but unlike some players, I expect him to actually get the respect from the fans. I'm being salty today. I can't help it.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay. Let us pay the bills real quick. We're going to go through any of the comments we might not have gone through yet that we've kind of mixed some of them in there. And then from there, guys, we're going to go through our Week 12 picks show. Now, we're going to do the picks a little different than usual, guys. We're going to kind of a little zip through as opposed to giving you guys our thoughts on why too much. We're going to go like 2 minutes per game kind of style, and that's it, basically. So I'll even do a stopwatch on my phone here.
Oh, true. You definitely need to put that on yourself.
I do. Listen, I did not expect us to talk so much about, Daniel Jones, but it just, I don't know. It ticked me off today. It really did. So I had to bring it up and I had to go off a little bit. So, all right, let's pay the bills.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Alrighty, guys. And of course, as always, you can also send us a, I want to say a donation. We're not a charity, but you can send us a, here's some money, thank you, kind of thing on YouTube with super chats, or also, of course, on Facebook with stars. And really, there's also the free way to say thank you to us as well if you like the program. And that's just go ahead and hit that like, hit that subscribe. Guys, we do at least 4 shows, if not 4 per week there. Right now, in season, we're doing the 4. And of course, we always do different bonus episodes. We have clips that go up every single day on YouTube pretty much there. So, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share, tell a friend, because point blank, we suck at marketing. We suck at marketing. We count on you guys to help us out. We are helpless. We are absolutely helpless, much like the Giants right now. So let's get into the comments here. I know it's sad. It's true, though. It's okay. Let's see here. Tim says, will the Giants cut Daniel Jones? No, because they can't for cap purposes, unfortunately, unless they come out to an agreement. Connor, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a little while. He says,
right?
Danny. Yeah, well, yeah, why put him through that? Exactly. It's classless. It's absolutely classless. Pete says, I'm so torn. My mind knows we had to bench him. My heart hurts for him. Such a great dude. And the fact that so many players have always said he is the first guy in the house, the last to leave. Exactly. Like I said, you can separate the player from the person. I think that's a fair statement to do. I really do. Because, guys, I've said it before. He is somebody I want nowhere near my football team as a starting quarterback. I would take him as a Taysom Hill kind of guy, like that you bring in more as a running back when you have to. And I said that'll probably go forward. He did get that one catch.
Taysom comes in as tight end a lot. I actually like, and his honestly, like, I think DJ will come in and make a pretty good quarterbacks coach. Yeah, down the road.
Yeah, here's what not to do.
Well, no, listen, a lot of great players cannot. Especially a lot of great players, they don't convert into good coaches. A lot of reason why I will
guys like you can't read defenses, and that's something you have to be able to teach other quarterbacks to do.
You can't read defenses under pressure. There's
kind of a pressure situation when you're a coach. I'm just saying.
But when you're coaching, it's not like look at this, look at that, look at this. But what you do is look at the tape and say, "This is what's happened. This was happening."
Well, you can't look at the tape live during the game.
No, but he can tell you how to read it, even though he couldn't do it live.
I don't
think guys that can't do it great who do this kind of work like he does correlates to a good coach.
The guys who are the good coaches are the guys who have the mental tools, not the physical tools. The problem with DJ is he's the reverse. He has the physical tools, but no offense to him, because I'm not saying he's stupid, but he doesn't have the mental tools. He can't make adjustments to the line. He can't read defenses. He can't do the things that you have to be able to teach as a coach.
This is something we'll see in a decade from now.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I think he'd make an excellent private island owner. Because if I was him, that's what I'd be doing. Just get me a private island, get me some Starlink internet or whatever, and call it a day, and I'm done. I want to see no more Giants fans the rest of my life from him.
Just my tiki bar.
Yeah, exactly. I go to a sports bar, I see a Giants hat, I'm turning around and I'm leaving if I'm him. Deb says that's a low-class move in my mind. 100% true. Yeah, it's classless. As Pete says, 100% truth. Amen. He says, I've been saying that for the last 3 or 4 years, our fan base for the majority is plain poop fans. I'll put it that way. And I'm embarrassed most of the time. Honestly, I think it's like anything. You see this stuff on the internet, stuff like this especially. Keep in mind, like everything, sometimes the loudest people are the biggest idiots. And I say that being a loudmouth myself. I'm waiting for Rob to make a comment, but I can't tell if his webcam froze. But that's just the way it is. That's just absolutely the way it is. As Deb says, Jones has more class in his little finger than those bozos in the front office. 100%. 100%. Soul Brother number 1, what's up, man? It says, he seems like a good dude, but this is part of the business. Not a good part, but a part. But again, you could do it with more respect, I think. I really do think that. Deb says, tonight, I don't care about the draft. I'm disgusted with the organization. As Rob, you have returned to us. I don't know if you saw, but we could not see or hear you or anything there for the last couple of minutes. You were just kind of frozen. Yeah. You're like an extra from the movie Frozen.
Let us know. Let us know.
Yeah. Derek says, Daniel needs for his part to focus on his future if he still wants to play. His future's not with the Giants. His past is. Yeah, no. Yeah. Let's see. Stavator says, gentlemen, great show as always. Appreciate it, man. Says, so do we clean
Thanks, Al.
house or keep regime for another year? Yeah, no, we're like I said, I'm so much more leaning after this way this debacle happened towards just getting rid of them. Salas says, should we draft Al Bundy from Polk High? Now
100%.
I heard a rumor that he could be had pretty cheap, that he's shacking up with some redheads selling shoes at the mall. That's just a rumor. I don't know. But listen, if we can't get Chad Powers, maybe that's the option. But I think he
Be
played.
fast.
I think he played fullback though, which is unfortunately a dying position. If I remember correctly.
Al Bundy, no, he was quarterback.
Was he? No, hold on. Let's see. I'm gonna look it up here. Al Bundy position, high school football position. He was a star fullback on Polk High and was offered a scholarship to play football. However, a broken leg and a subsequent marriage to high school sweetheart Peggy Wanker, while intoxicated, changed his fortunes. See? Fullback. I know my married with children. Damn it. And then Deb says, and furthermore, Giants game is not on in Connecticut. Grr. What is it with Connecticut getting the shafts in all the Giants games? I feel like
it's.
And Deb, correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously you live there. I've been in Connecticut, but I never lived there. Like, I would imagine Connecticut's much like, almost like western part of Jersey, where it's half Giants, half Eagles fans, but it's probably
sure
half Giants, half Patriots fans. Exactly. I would imagine it's both, where you'd want to have both those games, basically. And then Paul says the Browns are schooling the Steelers tonight. Now, I'm not watching.
I want to go with schooling. And you're looking at a 10-3 win. You also had 10-3 in the third quarter. You also had Winston the first play in the third quarter come out, or maybe the second play, throw a pick. Steelers have the ball. They're just methodically running down.
We'll see.
Listen, it is a game that's in the middle of the snow in Cleveland. Anyone that thought this game was going to be a high-scoring game coming into, you're crazy. Any fans out there that maybe in South Jersey? No. Any fans that maybe in South? No. Let me finish because I was called Paul. Because there's
he is my cousin. Be nice to Paul.
I'm not talking about Paul. You hushy. Any fans out there that thought that James Winston, crazy fans out there that are watching those shows that thought James Winston's going to throw over 216 yards in this game, you're out of your mind and you ruin your parlay. And Paul did not talk to me about that, so I was not talking about parfait. Yes, parfait.
Deb says they show Patriots on the same channel: Northern Connecticut Patriots, Southern Connecticut Giants, and that's weird because Patriots are AFC. Like in New York, if you live in New York, New Jersey, near New York, New Jersey, that part of Jersey, you got CBS had the Jets and Fox had the Giants, and they purposely didn't play at the same time. The NFL really needs to get their poop together, basically, and do the same thing.
100%.
We got your back, Deb. We got your back. We're going to write Roger Goodell a very well-written
stern email right now.
We're going to have the same people who wrote DJ's speech today write it for us. They did a good job. They did. I'm sorry. Look how riled up they got me. So, all right. Let's go over our picks, guys. So, let's do that here because, listen, it's week 12, guys. I can't believe it's week 12 already. I cannot believe it's week 12. It doesn't seem like it at all. It's so much so that Rob left because he can't believe it's week 12. That's how crazy it's gotten here, guys. So, the real reason Rob left, though, is because he doesn't want me talking about my victory again. And, that's what it is here. So, yeah, I again beat Rob. I again whooped his butt. Last week, 14 games on the schedule. We got, of the 14, he and I did really good in the straight up picks. I had 11. He had 10. So, I mean, guys, both those are over 70%. I take that in a heartbeat. As far as the spread picks, that's where my downfall was. I only had 6 of them. Rob had 8. So I'm still up over my 50% for the year for the spread picks. So I'll take it. Our over-unders. I had 8. So that's 57%. I'll take it. Rob had just 5. That's where my difference maker was. On our trifectas, getting the straight up picks, spread picks, and over unders. Rob had 3, I had 2. So close there. In the end, the difference of 1 point last week, guys. That's it. 1 point. That brings my lead on the year to 311 to 305. So I now have a 6-point lead, which is crazy because Rob has barely lost most weeks, to be honest, at that point. But he had that 1 week he had where he had like a 13-point lead on me. And that's basically killed half my lead there. So, and I hear that beeping sound. That means we once again have a Rob.
I came back. Guess who's back?
As I finished talking about my miraculous, amazing victory that I had there last week.
Yeah, somehow that just screwed me out of the internet. Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, it was amazing how you the second you started talking about it and you came back. Second, I was done with it. I feel like I should tap that real quick for it. All right, let's get.
You win by 1 point. That's miraculous.
Let's get into our pick show here. Now, where I said we're gonna do this a little different. So we're gonna trying to keep this down a little bit on time wise here because we've already been on for almost an hour here. We're gonna do 1 minute for each of us. That's all we get.
Ooh, Drew.
Game. I know it's going to be hard for me, and I have a stopwatch. I literally have my phone set up to be a stopwatch right now, so I've got it going, guys. So, all right, let's get first up. We already talked about the Thursday night game. We'll see what happens there. We'll go over that with you guys at the end of this too, where we're at currently. We got Chiefs at the Panthers. The Panthers are literally being given 11 points in this, so a touchdown and a field goal and more. And you got an over/under of 43. Now, start the clock here. I'm going to go ahead and say the Chiefs win this game because they're clearly the better team, guys. You got a team that's maybe the best in the NFL going against what may be the worst in the NFL, except for the Giants, of course. 11-point spread, though, guys, is a little crazy to me. The Chiefs have been getting close wins for much of this year. Throw that back to the fact that also the Panthers have actually been playing better since Bryce Young came back from his, benching at that point. Don't get your hopes up, DJ. It's not going to happen for you. But you got the Chiefs. I got the Panthers covering, though the Chiefs will win outright with no problem. They'll win by like a touchdown or by the 10 points by the skin of their teeth. And I'm going to say the over on the points. And I got 15 seconds left, Rob, but I'm giving them up. Go for it.
I agree with you mostly, but listen, the Panthers have been a terrible organization. They gave away a lot of their team, if you will. Bryce Young has been playing better, but he hasn't been playing great. He's just been playing in good scenarios, playing crappy teams. Chiefs got their first loss served to them last week and an upsetting thing. And I think it's a get right. Hey, we just lost. Let's go beat up in the worst team besides the Giants in the NFL. And I think they're going to spank this team. I think it's going to be in the over, and I think it's going to be embarrassing, just like how the Lions beat up on the Jags last week. So Chiefs over.
All right. You gave up 20 seconds in that too as well. All right. Next up,
Rob. Up next, you got the Vikings going in to play the Bears. Bears are giving up 3.5 points at home. My God, because they stink.
Well, they're getting 3.5 points.
Yeah.
Giving up.
Sorry. Yeah.
Just clarifying, just in case somebody's.
The over-under is 39.5 points in this game.
And go.
Yeah. I don't need that much time. So the Vikings are going to win this game. They're the obvious better team in this. But things seem to be clicking right in Chicago. I do think they're going to cover this. Chicago. I do think they're going to cover this a little bit just because I think Sam Darnold is kind of falling off where he's been. I do think this is going to go in the over. I think they're going to be shooting a little bit more in a divisional game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch, but the Vikings win over outright.
All righty. So, yeah, I'm agreeing with you a lot of what you said there, except for I'm not. The Vikings are. Here's what I'm saying: the Vikings aren't what they have been, to start the year. Obviously, I think they have gone down just a little bit of a peg there, but they're still a clearly much better team than the Bears are. I have no faith at this point in the Bears because point blank, when your locker room is basically saying they want the backup quarterback in, that's not a good sign. even when you're still in the middle of your rookie year. And that makes it even a worse sign. It says a lot for Caleb Williams as a leader. So I've got the Vikings to win. I got the Vikings to cover because 3.5 points, I don't think is that big of a difference there. And I have the under because the Vikings are a very good defense. And I think that they're going to do just enough to keep this somewhat close. And even with Darnold maybe taking the step back, like you mentioned, it's still going to be enough to beat that spread, but not enough to beat the over-under there. So I got Vikings under.
Julio.
Next up, we got the Titans at the Texans in the Battle of the T's. No word yet if Earl Gray's joining. We got 7.5 points that is being given up by the Texans. So the Titans are getting just over a touchdown in this. And you got a 40.5 over under there. So guys, the Texans are so much the better team. It's not even funny. This. If you think the Titans are winning this game, you must know something nobody else knows, basically. But I think the Texans actually beat the spread in this. The Texans are not usually a kick you in the teeth, beat the crud out of you kind of team. But there's just the Titans are going downhill so fast, it's not even funny. And suddenly I get the vibe of like a team that legit is tanking and no one's talking about enough is the Titans, So I got the Texans to actually go ahead and cover that spread. And I got the under of the points because the Titans are that bad. So Rob, what you got?
Titans are a terrible team. They are not tanking though. They're a young team and young coaches staff. There's a lot of misdirect that's going on over there. Will Levis has been the meme of the week for the first 6 weeks of football, but when he's on, and when he's off, he is way off. Like it's always funny. Obviously, the Texans are the way better team. Yep. CJ Stratho is not playing the same level he was last week. They're playing good defensive football. They're dealing with some injuries, but statistically speaking, these two teams play each other they just are a battle back and forth. I'm taking the Texans to win this game, but I'm taking the Titans to cover this spread here. I'm taking the under. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be like something in that 17, even 10 game, which still covers that 7.5 spread. I'm going to go with 17-14, 17-13, but yeah.
Done. You're over. Next up, we got
the Lions going into Indianapolis playing the Colts. The Colts are favored by 7.5 points in this game, or they're given. Sorry. Oh, geez, I'm terrible at this today. The over-under in this game is 50.5 points. And my God, you want to talk about an upset of the week? You want to talk about my game of the week? Let's talk about how the Lions are going to school the Colts. Because guess what? The Lions played great football majority of this year. They're the best team in the NFC by far. The Colts look great with Anthony Richardson, another quarterback that got benched came back. Looked good. Looked great last week. Guess what? Goff has looked great for 8 weeks out of the 10 weeks that he's played. Right? Did he have the bye? Doesn't matter. Go on.
Spanked last week.
What?
They spanked.
I absolutely spanked. But Anthony Richardson looked good last week too. But I don't know if he can repeat that again. I'm going to take the Lions to win. I'm going to take the Lions to cover. And I'm going to take them in the over because they don't let up at all.
Alrighty. So I'm agreeing with you on a decent amount of this whole scenario here. The Lions are going to trash the Colts point blank. Absolutely trash them. And where I differ on you is I think they're going to trash them so bad that it stays in the under, even with them beating the 7.5 point spread. I think this is going to be an absolute level of domination. I think this Lions team is pumped, absolutely pumped, and they're ready to go. And there's just something energy-wise that Dan Campbell is bringing to this team. And it's hard to deny that. I really think this is going to be a statement game for the Lions to do a back-to-back spankings. And yeah, I'm sorry, Colts fans, but you got no shot.
Yeah, but you took the under. Tell me what the score was last week.
I know. I just don't think it's. I think it's a better defense they're facing this week. I really do.
I don't think it's that much better.
And we'll find out. We'll find out. So, all right. Next up, we got the Patriots at the Dolphins, guys. Dolphins are -7 points in this. You got 46 points on the over-under. Let's go. So, yeah, guys, Patriots have been playing much better since they put Drake May in. Not quite the same team in any way, shape, or form since they got Jacoby Brissett out of there. But the Dolphins, guys, quietly, before Tua came back, somehow this team figured out a way to play different. They're running the ball more, getting more rushing yards than ever. Their defense started stepping it up. Now they got Tua back. Tua's kind of getting back in the swing of things there. And that takes a little bit of time sometimes when you play that position to come back from your 10th concussion, whatever that is he's got now at this point there. And
Still concussed.
there is something different going on with this. There really is, guys. I feel like the Dolphins, unfortunately, if it wasn't for the Tua issues, probably be a playoff team. I got Dolphins, and over because I think the Dolphins will score that much. Go for it, Rob.
Yeah, I agree with you. Dolphins are going to win this game, but it's also a divisional game where they typically play each other very tough every year, in and out. Drake May has been playing better football as under the rock, under the center for New England, but the bread and butter has been their defense. So I do think that the Fins will win. I don't think they're going to win by a touchdown. I'm going to take the Patriots in the spread, and I'm going to go with the unfavored opinion here. I'm going to go with the under, just because the way that they play each other is so tough all the time that Tua, like you said, they found a different way to win without him, and it's not by scoring touchdowns. So I'm going to go with the under as well.
All righty.
And the next game, it's our game, guys. The goofball game, if you will. You got the Buccaneers and the Giants playing. The Bucs are favored by 6 points.
What's a buck?
What's a buck to you, man? And the over on this game is 41.5 points. And let's be real here. This is a tough game to go down the line because there's so many different variables that are going on in this game. And I hate to be the naysay here, but I want to go with the Bucs to win this game, but the Giants to cover. And I do think it's going to go in the over because I think those cutlets, you're not going to get the small, you're not going to get the shorty, but you're going to get the extra large Parmesan.
It's like shorties watching shorties.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got to say, guys, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm drinking the Tommy Kool-Aid. I'm picking the Giants to win. And honestly, part of it is because just talking to some of my buddies that do Bucks content creation, they are not high on this game. They think this is one of those sleeper games that the Bucks are going to lose, that they're expected to beat the team, and just something happens, and it doesn't happen that way. And that's something, Tommy Cutlets.
It's that little extra Parmesan.
Now, if he bombs and does not look good this week, then I will give up probably betting on the Giants ever again. But I'm going to say the Giants win this game, messing up the draft pick status. They're going to go ahead and cover the spread because they're getting points in this, obviously. So they win outright. They're going to beat the spread, obviously. And I have the over because look at the Bucks. They're doing about 27 points a game. Giants have only been doing about 14 points a game. That puts you right there at the 41 points, guys. Math.
Guess what?
There.
The extra large cutlet sandwich is going to put you right there.
The extra slice of cutlets on the sandwich there. Exactly. Gets you over there. So that's what I got. Giants over. All right. So next up, we got the Cowboys at the Commanders in an NFC East matchup that usually nobody wants, but this year we all want. So
it's terrible this year.
Listen, it is what it is. The Commanders are giving up 10.5 points in this, guys. That's how bad the Cowboys have been. They've been almost as bad as Jerry Jones with a tan. Can you imagine that man with a tan? Like trying to look young and cool.
With the what you call it?
Yeah.
Little things in the tan bed.
It's bad.
Wrinkled in his
bad.
eye wrinkles, eyelid wrinkles.
His eye wrinkles. His eyeball has wrinkles. But yeah, you got 45 is the over-under. So, guys, again, the Cowboys have been absolute trash. There's no reason to think otherwise at this point. This team, complete malpractice on Jerry Jones' side, what he did this offseason. Unless there's some ulterior motive we might not be aware of this offseason. And I'm hearing people talk about getting rid of Dak and stuff like that. That makes no sense. Why would you sign him this offseason just to go ahead and cut him the next one if that was the plan? The Commanders, I think, are going to absolutely destroy this team, and we're going to enjoy watching this as a Giants fan. I got DC to win, them to cover, and I got the over because that's just how bad the Cowboys have been. Jaden Daniels is going to have just a great game.
Yeah, you're talking about a veteran quarterback going against a rookie quarterback. Statistically, does not do well. You're also talking about a statistic great defense going against, not such a good defense. It's been playing better in years, but you know what the trump card is? Dan Quinn left the boys and now is in charge of DC, kicking some butt. My God.
Yep.
The Commanders are going to win. They're going to crush this game because guess what? They stopped the run, and the boys can't run. The boys can't throw because they're on their Cooper Rush. Actually, are they in the third string? Are they doing a DeVito thing over there?
Well,
I don't know.
Trey Lance came in at the end of the game last week. My understanding is that Cooper Rush will be starting at quarterback.
Yeah, so the Commanders, Drew and I both said, are the team that's probably going to win this division. And guess what? Dallas is on their way to looking like the Giants of the past 5-10 years.
10 seconds.
So DC in the over.
All righty.
Up next, you got the 4:00 games. You got the Broncos going into the Raiders. The Raiders. The Broncos are favored by 6 points. What?
Of the lost.
Yes. Of the lost.
Should be their new name. The Las Vegas Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh, there we go. This should make a casino out of that.
Picture the guys coming out of the tunnel. Dun, 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 dun.
On what you call it? Lassos?
It's like something out of my wedding.
Yeah.
Those are by the way, the groomsmen, which Rob was one of them, literally came down the aisle to the Indiana Jones theme song as the wedding starting.
He's not wrong.
We did do it.
It was fantastic.
Listen, marriage is an adventure. Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So the Broncos are 6-point favorites in this game. The over-under is 41 points. Divisional rivalry game, guys. This is going to be a fun matchup. The Raiders always play the Broncos tough, but the Broncos came up. Bo Nix is probably if it's a Heisman Trophy of MVPs, he's on the stage. He's not winning it, but he's on stage with the rookie MVPs going into this because they are squeezing juice out of him right now, and he's getting some good yards, good touchdowns. Is he the best? No, but MVP category because they're squeezing the juice. Yeah, you can talk that. So I'm taking the Broncos to win this game. I'm taking the Broncos to cover this. I'm also taking the over in this just because look at that spanking they put
Raiders in the sheet. You want Broncos or you want Raiders?
I want the Broncos.
You changing up your pick here, Mr. Anonymous Hamster. This week you are Anonymous Hamster. I love how Google does that. But all right, anyway, what's your over under?
That's the over.
There we go. So you want to be a little bit different on this one here.
A lot of it different.
Because no. We both got the Broncos to win. We both got the Broncos to cover. I'm with you at a lot of it there. I got the under. Because I just think the Raiders will just do that bad in offense that you're going to somehow get just below that 41 points there. Just my own personal opinion there. We'll see if I'm right. All right, next up, we got the 49ers at the Packers. What could be a very good game here starting off here. The 425 slot. Packers are a 2.5 point favorite in this. You got a 47.5 on the over-under, sorry. Giving my cards here. So, yeah, I got the Packers to win, guys. Listen, the 49ers looked really bad last week, and obviously every so often these have a bad game, and that's fine. Every team has them. As the Giants, we had them on a weekly basis. But, every so often when we get off that, you look better the next week, but there's still a little bit of that stink left on you at that point from the prior week. And I think that's what's going to happen in a very key matchup there with the Packers. It'll be a close game, but 2.5 points, guys, is not enough to close enough for me to change my bet. Now, if it was over 3 points, it was more than a field goal, I might consider that. Most games are not going to be won or lost within a point or two. And then, so I'm going to pick the Packers there, and I'm going to go the under because the Packers defense has been doing pretty decent. Obviously, San Francisco traditionally has a good defense there, and he's still got some guys missing there in that offense. So Packers under.
I 100% agree with you. This is a trifecta. Might be the best bet of the week. I'm going to put this in there because you know what? Specifically speaking, the Niners are the better team, but Green Bay is one. It is Thanksgiving week. They're the first Friday about Thanksgiving is when they go hot in Lambeau. They're like, oh, let's go hunting, let's go ice fishing, Lambeau time, let's go. And know what happened in San Francisco? They lost Bosa last week, and that's why they lost the game. And the Bosa left in the third quarter. You know what they had? You know what they had point wise when Bosa was in the game? 6 points. You know what happened when they left? Or not the Niners, but when they were playing against after the injury, the defense let up 14 points. You know what yards per play they gave up in the first 3 quarters was 3.6. You know what they let up after Bosa left the game? 6.2. So what you're telling me is that defense fell off after Nick Bosa left. They got key injuries on offense they've been battling with all year. The Packers are starting to come to. Their defense is looking great. On the borderline of great. And their offense is doing enough to click through. I think this is a rematch of last playoff game they had against each other. I think Packers win. Playoffs! I think Packers win. Packers cover. And I think it's in the under because they're not going to put enough points against each other. Still enough respect to the defenses there.
All righty.
Up next, another 425 game, another great game, another playoff potential team. Playoffs, and it's also about the number one seed in the NFC West. Is no one's talking about here because it's been very quiet.
Very quiet. Very division.
Yeah, you talk about this right now. Like one team wins, they're in first place. One team loses. That was a 4-way tie.
Oh.
Really close. So you got the Cardinals going into Seattle. Seattle is they're getting 1 point in this game, which is crazy. And the over-under is 47.5 points. Seattle's coming off a great win. The Cards are also playing sneaky good football.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyler Murray is also, I just said it before about Bo Nix, but Kyler Murray is also, if you're talking about Heisman Trophy of the Year, he's not going to win it.
Trophy.
He's not going to win it, but he's going to be the guy on stage looking like, oh man, I was kind of close, but I was playing Xbox too much.
There should be an exceeding expectations award.
Yeah. That he won. And he was his game. He puts the Cardinals in the first place in the division.
There must not be a new video game for a while or something. Or
must be. But I'm taking the Cardinals to win this game, and that point difference just I don't know how you lose by half a point or win by half a point. It's a push at that point.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the Cards to win, Cards to cover, and I'm taking the under because I think it's going to be a surprisingly more defensive game in this division rival game. It's going to be a close set over-under marker, but I think it's going to be like that, 19-21. Give you 40 points.
Good year.
Ooh. Actually, it wasn't. Depending where you lived.
Not for a lot of people, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So let's, a lot of what you said there, I'm going to go with as being the same. I mean, listen, the Cardinals been sneaky good. Kyler Murray's been sneaky good this year. You're definitely 100% right. All that stuff there. My main difference I'm going to have with you is your over-under part. I look at it this way. The Giants scored 29 points on the Seattle defense. If the Giants
beat up Seattle
defense, I get it, but the Giants can score 29 points. There is no reason for me to think that the Cardinals can't score similar even with a healthy defense because they're a better offense than the Giants are by far. Then you throw in the fact that you got the Seahawks who do put up some points on offense themselves. And this one is screaming over to me all day long. So I'm going Cardinals over.
I took it as a trap when it came to that, but that's fine. It's cool. Whatever. Sunday Night Football. Let's go.
Sunday night.
Night.
Bird to the next here with the Eagles at the Rams, guys. The Rams are getting 3 points in this matchup, and they got a 49-point over-under. Guys, listen, I say all the time, I will give you my honest opinion, and I will try not to be biased towards anybody because of my Giant fandom. I don't necessarily like the Eagles this year. Don't get me wrong. I think they've definitely taken a step back. But they're still better in my mind than the Rams, who have also kind of taken a little bit of a step back this year as well. So I got Rams, because 3 points is not going to be enough to go ahead and change me. But I also got over. Something just tells me this is going to be a really high-scoring game here. So I'm going Rams over.
Oh, so you better change your notes because you totally have Eagles Rams over.
Oh my God, that's what I meant. Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles. I typed just like you did before. Eagles. I'm reading the wrong. That's why I read there, and I'm like Rams over. No, Eagles.
No, I'm Rams. Not to give up my spot there.
Listen, I worked a 12-hour shift at work today. Leave me alone, goddammit.
Jeez.
But yeah,
anyway,
like I said, I think the Eagles, and the over.
Listen, the Eagles are both teams are a house of cards what they were years prior.
Yeah, great match.
Everyone's forgetting about the injuries that were on the Rams at the beginning of the year when they lost the first, when they went 1-5, whatever it was. They have a lot of injuries.
Yep.
But people are coming back. They're playing better football. I think they're 4-1 in the past 5 games. They've been playing good football. And then you got the Eagles, who are also playing better football. Let me not front that. They started off weak this year, and they are also, I think, 4-1. Or similar to that, 3-2. They're playing good football.
Yep. 4-1, by the way, for the Rams. You're right. The one loss in that time period is to the Dolphins.
Yeah. Which Tyreek Hill had a great game that time. So they're both playing great football. I think the Rams are going to squeak it out. They're at home. They have been, on paper, the better team in those wins they had. The Eagles are still playing close wins, and they're still squeaking it out, but they're not just finding some of those wins. The Rams are playing better competition in those wins.
Yeah.
And I do agree. It's going to be an over. It's going to be a fun game. If you're going to bet this game, go with the over.
It's one thing we agree on. So,
yeah.
All right. Next
Monday night. Monday Night Football. Let's effing go. It's the hardball Super Bowl, unless they actually go to the AFC Championship, but that's probably going to happen. You got the Ravens going into LA playing the Chargers.
The Chargers.
The Chargers are 3-point underdogs in this. So, at home, expect on Lamar and the history that Baltimore team has had. The over-under is 51 points. My God, this game is El Paso. This is going to be a fun, exciting game to watch. But if I'm going to have to bet, which I'm going to have to bet on this podcast, I am taking the Chargers to win. I'm going to bet a hardball-led team is going to win this game.
Harbaugh wins.
Now, I'm taking the Chargers. Listen, the Chargers are actually, on paper, the better team. The Chargers are doing exactly what the Ravens have been doing this past year, the past few years, just a little better. If you look at 1-7-2, 1-7-3, can you argue which one's better? I guess you got it percentage-wise there. But I'm actually taking the Chargers to win. I'm taking the cover. I'm taking the under because I do think both these teams, as much as they can score points, I think it's going to be a slow, methodical game. I think it's going to be one of those run, big pass, run, big pass, run the clock, pass. and back forth. This is going to be a defensive battle game at the end of the day.
I'm not so sure in that. I'm really not.
How many games have Herbert thrown over 250 yards? And how many games have Lamar Jackson thrown over 250 yards?
It's not a matter of that. Here's what I'm looking at in this whole thing. So the Chargers have the number 1 scoring defense in the league, 14.5 points per game. The Ravens have the second best scoring offense at 30.4 points per game. So I think there's still going to be some points put up. It just may not be the 30 that they usually get on their end at that point. But if they can do, let's say, 27, for example, then you're already more than halfway there. And it's going to be a close game. It's going to be. Like, there's no doubt in my mind on that one. But I do think it's going to be more than the 3-point difference. I got the Ravens to win this, guys. So John Harbaugh is 2-0 against his brother in their NFL careers. Lamar Jackson is 5-1 in Monday Night Football road games in his career. And that's not just straight up. That's also against the spread, by the way. There's something about this game that I think that the Harbaughs care more than they want to admit. There's something about beating your brother, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a brother to beat, and when you have sisters and you can't beat women. So, I feel like this is going to be something that you're going to see some really good football because both teams love their coaches. You haven't heard any negativity out of John Harbaugh either at that point. Either he's kind of a schmuck, I think. But I just something tells me that John Harbaugh, just does his thing, and this team does just enough to win by maybe like 5 points or so. Nothing crazy, but I got Ravens to win it. So Ravens over.
Good to see you.
All righty, guys. So that's our picks for the week here. We'll let you guys know on our recap on Monday how much I beat Rob by. So
-3.
But yeah, guys, again, we appreciate you guys for watching us. Appreciate you guys also allowing us to vent about our Daniel Jones feelings.
Also, if I pick out that I win by 3, I get another 3 points, by the way.
What?
I just said you win by -3. So if I call that out right now, then I win by 3 points.
No, that's not the way this works. Not the way this works, because I'll bet I win by 2 points. But anyway, as I was saying, we'll be back again for you guys on Sunday for our game coverage there. Now, this one, we do plan on doing a play-by-play episode with you guys on that. That'll probably just myself, not necessarily Rob, but Rob will be joining me for the post-game coverage there. So we'll be on there for that. I also got some buddies of mine that do content creation specifically for the Bucks. So we might have some of them popping on as well, guys. So, like I said, I'm expecting this to be a good game for the Giants. And the nice thing is there's no losing for us anymore. We win, we win. We lose, we win. I may not be pro-tanking, but I'm not anti-getting a better pick.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
I'll be having a lot of chicken cutlets.
Okay, maybe that was for the best.
Sure.
So appreciate you guys for watching. As always, we'll see you guys Sunday during the game. And of course, as always, Giant fans, go G-Man!
G-Man! Follow us on Spotify, follow us everywhere, follow us on Drew's LinkedIn page.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please.